Blah blah blah.
Hey people, welcome to another episode of, well, second episode, probably the last of Nerds Hangout. There's only two of us here, and what a bullshit hangout. Right,
You-
questions. Before we get to questions, I think Mark's joining us later, and same with Connie. Connie's just watching the show on catch up right now.
Making sure she has her
What did
facts straight.
you What did you think of the show this episode?
I thought it was really good. So like the amount of stuff that actually happened, they edited it really well.
When were we there till? Till what, 1 in the morning, and we still haven't finished or something like that.
On the first day, the quiz itself took 5 hours, and they expected it to be 2 hours.
Oh, I stood there for a fucking lifetime, man.
Yeah, and then we were up till what 3 a.m. with that one because of the party and everything. And we were in the nerd war from around, I think it was 11, because we did the rap thing before it,
Oh
because they
God.
were still setting up. Wasn't that right? Went in at 11. They thought they were going to get it done before lunch, and we were still in there at 10. We finished in there at 11, and we still had interviews to do afterwards.
Yeah, I had a 3-hour interview. No, wait, was it a 3 hour? It was.
No,
It
not the
was
second day.
ridiculously long.
You had a 3-hour one the day before.
It's all merging into one. It's just. Yeah, we were there for ages, and I was pissed. That rap was horrific.
However, it did mean we got free hotel and a nice little goodbye party and free curry. Can't
Free
really complain.
curry. What did we have?
We had last night we had curry, didn't we? And we stole the chocolate bars. Ow!
Oh, right.
How did you feel, Kenny, with the
Well,
lovely nerd locker which I warned you about?
I did not get that. I didn't get that memo. I did everything assuming that the finals, it just can't be a quiz based because every nerd off was a quiz so far, and it was just when I walked up there, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I didn't know what the nerd locker was at all because I didn't watch the American shows. And
Rookie mistake.
what do you know? It's just fucking quiz after quiz. Could have done something different. If it was the other way around, if they did the other stuff first, what the finals did first, I think I would have had a good chance. As opposed to fucking quiz. Of course the quizzes are gonna go through.
How much did you regret putting Curtis into a nerd off?
Not that much actually, because my logic goes, oh, fuck off. Sorry about the phone, I'll just turn it off.
Oh, my name's Kenny, I'm so popular.
Oh, shut the fuck up. My logic goes, if I was to put Mark against Matt in, which was what everyone expected, then one of them would have gone out, and Curtis would have stayed in. And Curtis, because I haven't spoken to him much on the show, I assume that he knows a lot about a lot of things. Well, not a lot about a lot of things, but enough about a lot of things, like Emily does. So it's going to be luck. Whether it's probably going to be Mark versus Curtis or Matt versus Curtis in the finals, as opposed to Mark versus Matt.
It was kind of a lose-lose situation.
Yep.
And I think at least this way,
I guaranteed Curtis would go out.
Might have bet Mark in the nerd off, but if Mark did beat Matt, you wouldn't have had Matt for like that team support.
Yeah.
And I think you would have got rather antsy. But like, why am I here with all these evil people? Just like that. Because it was funny because you guys were all in your place, and they were trying to keep it secret from us who was in the final four. So they didn't want us going into Nerdvana or anything where you'd put your crowns. They wanted it to be us to not know anything. And then next thing we know, we walk out, and they're like, "Right, okay, guys, get ready to walk out. They don't know you're coming." And we're all like, "Pretty sure they know we're coming."
I didn't.
You didn't.
Nope. I had no clue what was going on. I was like,
You were just
why are you
pissed.
guys here? Yeah, I was kind of pissed because we were there for freaking hours, man.
Hey, how did you feel? So you know Cameron was in that costume,
Yeah.
right? She got told to put that costume on. We then had to wait 4 hours, and she was sat in that costume for the whole thing.
Glad it's
It
not
was
me.
me and
Oh,
Yasmin kept stealing her claws.
speaking of Yasmin, what did you do to Yasmin when a wasp came in?
Right, so okay. So who told you about this?
You did.
Oh, yeah.
I was
So
just letting you tell the story.
okay, so we're all in this room because they're basically waiting for them, like those four, to finish off their quiz. And so we're all in this really small room, just hanging out, chatting. I was finding out what everything had happened. Other people were bitching about stuff. Anyway, all nerd fun. Me and Kerry kind of got a bit bored, and Yasmin was wearing the pirate costume with these laces on the back of her dress. And so me and Kerry thought it was a great idea to tie Yasmin to her chair using one of these ribbons and do it to the leg. And so then we kept being like, "Yasmin, would you mind getting us a drink?" But she's a lazy fucker, so she refused to get up for us. And then the next thing we know, a wasp flew in the room, and she jumped up very quickly, and so did her chair.
Oh, I'm just told Shannon, the producer, is also joining the Hangout.
Ooh,
Oh,
big
this is
time.
gonna be fun. Right, I suppose we should minimize the bitching.
We love the crew. They were the best. Everyone is brilliant, better than the rest. But yeah, no. What were your thoughts on Curtis being the only nerd getting a little montage?
I really don't give two shits about it, to be honest. That's nice. I'm glad it wasn't me.
Your
I'm already
montage would
made
have
to look
just
like a
been.
dick enough, and already am. Oh god, that bit where I had to put that helmet. Oh, I found the helmet in the room. I'm like, can I wear this for the interviews the entire time? They're like, no, but we'll try and get something in. So, so we did that. Right. I have some questions coming. Actually, would it be better to get the crap ones out of the way first?
Yeah, let's get
And
the crap.
then
First of all, Yasmin does not hate white people.
I was gonna ask that one, but my reply would be slightly different.
No, she just hates yellow people. That's why I didn't get on that well.
No, she hates white people because she's black. Whoop. I didn't say that.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
um,
Yasmin did love her hashtags. Okay. While we're waiting, Kenny,
yes.
how did you cope being stuck in there for 3 weeks with a
I'm
bunch
kind of
of
happy.
randoms?
I really liked it. I really did enjoy the experience. Wasn't too fussed I didn't win. I knew I was gonna win anyways because there's always a mountain higher. In this case, Mark and Matt.
What, you mean the
But
two trivia guys who like had a good knowledge of everything and obviously had been trained for quizzes and had all the nerd off speed quizzes and the finale be a quiz? You trying to tell me that they might have had an advantage?
well, if they picked each other in the same team, if Matt picked Mark in the same team, then only
That
one of
was the
them would have
plan.
gone.
That was the plan.
Hi, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Hello, welcome to the
Guys.
Hangout.
Loving the blue wig.
Yeah,
Has
how do you change it to my actual face and not just that picture?
I
at
don't
the
know, it's
top
gone
there's a
black
little
now.
camera. If you put your thing, there'll be a camera, and you've probably got it red with a line through it. If you just click that, you should be able to start using your camera.
Oh, I've got to go into settings. Stand by. Oh, there we go.
Standing by. Red Leader's standing by. The editors had a lot of fun with the confessionals I found, with
I
the
think they could have
lovely
had a
little
lot more
graphics.
fun, to be honest.
Pardon?
They had a lot to work with. I'm surprised our edits were quite, tame.
Mark, could you send not Mark, Kenny, could you send Mark the link, please?
Okay, sure.
I've been given orders. Yeah,
Right.
so you good?
Robin, you have a question. Which was your favorite week? Wait, she's only been there for one. Is that kind of like
As in to watch. Hey, we have Sharon.
Hi.
She doesn't
Hello.
have blue hair.
I know. No, it was a lot more exciting.
No, it's lovely.
What's going on, guys?
We're just chit-chatting and gossiping.
Oh,
Yep.
what are you gossiping about?
Bitching about the show.
Go on.
Bitching how I got
we
kicked
haven't
out
got
first,
into full
and
swing
Kenny.
yet.
We're just warming up.
Yeah.
Kenny's just crying his sorrows for not getting in the final two.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was bitching on how long we had to stand there for.
Oh, the standing.
Lots of waiting.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it was painful.
We should have learned really from the first day when they had us standing there for 2 hours, grimacing.
It got easier along the way, though, didn't it? No.
I wouldn't know. I had 4 days of standing.
It did. I wasn't too fussed about that, but it was literally the last day we were there for hours. Oh, there was this one other day where we were in the Nerd Bowl, and I was dying for a drink, and I got really angry because I didn't get a drink, and I was feeling dizzy and stuff. But yeah, apart from that, the waiting wasn't overly bad.
I remember the last day we were all a little missed that we weren't getting any Red Bull for the finale.
Oh my god, yes.
So that's why you can see in the background, while everyone else is very focused on the games, everyone's just standing there like, we want a drink. Why aren't we getting that drink?
Getting withdrawal symptoms. Yeah.
I think it's also important to note the infestation of wasps there were in that area.
Oh, yeah. There were a couple of hives.
Yeah, just a few. I remember we were waiting there for like a good 30 minutes while people swatted them. And we'd be standing there going, there's a wasp over there.
I suppose we were lucky enough that the weather was good enough to have wasps and it wasn't raining the whole time.
That did look like fun though. Because that was what, the third week?
It was. Yeah, people keep saying it's fake, but I can assure everyone it's not. It's definitely not fake rain. It was actually raining that hard.
Game of Thrones Day, Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for sure was not fake. Do you remember how we had to move all of those huge barricades?
Yep.
To try to block the wind, and that didn't even do that much.
No, I felt. Well, I didn't really feel that sorry. I kind of felt a little sorry for the other team. But it was really funny to watch. I met Hodor this weekend actually.
You did?
Yes.
Where did you meet him?
At Bournemouth Film and Comic Con.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and when I reminded him, he meets a lot of people, obviously, but he does. He thought, oh, we were just talking about your castle, Mark.
He did hear that.
Hello.
Hello. We were just talking about your castle.
Oh yeah.
And we met Christian Hodor this weekend.
Oh yes.
Bournemouth, and I brought it back up, and he still thinks it was shit.
Oh, here I'm not disputing that at all. No. No. At no point did I ever go, do you know what? Our castle should have won that competition. No, I never said that.
That's an interesting point, Sharon. So you obviously knew how that challenge was supposed to play out. Just how badly did the weather actually affect that challenge?
Oh, the weather
How did you guys,
hugely
like...
affected it. I mean, because obviously you never want something to be a total washout, no pun intended. You don't want anything to, you want there to be a good competition. You don't want anybody to completely win or completely lose, so it should have been a lot tighter, I think.
Yeah. And, like, how quickly did you have to actually change it? Like, did you make any changes to the challenges?
I don't know that we could at that point, because it was pretty much, it was a straightforward challenge, so everyone had to work with what they had, really, didn't you?
Well, the one thing I also remember from the challenge itself is that we were given initially we weren't told about the stakes. We actually thought we had to build it just as is, like, just stack them on top.
That was a very last-minute decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the time we were given to build the castle was lowered. We were told it was going to be an hour, but then you changed it to 40 minutes, and we were like, what?
Hi, Kenny, I'm on my phone.
Oh, hello.
Connie's back!
It's the same weird thing that happened last time. I can't get in on my iPad, and I don't know what to do to switch from my phone to my iPad like last time.
Could you open Twitter on your iPad and then click on the link from there?
Last time what I did is I searched for you and I rang you and you let me in, but you're blocking me for some reason.
I'm blocked.
If you go on your web browser on your iPad, so that would be Safari, and go on Twitter that way. That's how you did it last time.
Oh, is that how I did it? Oh gosh, I can't even remember.
How am I here and you're not here, Connie? This is amazing.
I've been trying to get...
Nerd queen, my eye.
I'm logging onto Twitter. Are you sure that's how I did it last time? I don't remember doing this. I think I switched it somehow from my phone mid-call because I remember the feedback.
Whatever you're doing right now,
I think you were on both.
Andy Warhol picture.
Yeah, it's like,
Did Andy Warhol ever win a Turner Prize?
No, he was dead before it even existed.
That's a good question, Sharon. How did you choose the categories in the Nerd-Off? Because I feel like every episode there was always one which is very prominently the hard one. As in, mine capital cities.
Oh, it's making me do weird things.
Sorry,
hard. Carry on. Oh, I can't log on. Okay,
sorry. I mean, we had a bunch of different ones, and some of them were just completely random. We tried to have a good cross-section that were good choices for the people going up, and just a bit random, because you never know exactly what everybody knows.
I always seem to I figured you obviously got it from when we did our application. Well, when the producers came to visit us and they left us this form, and we all had to mark from 1 to 10 what we were good at. And I remember distinctly writing stuff like space vehicles. I was really good at that, but not so good at biology and stuff like that. So when space vehicles, science and time travel came up in one of my rounds, I think it was, I was like, oh yeah, those are obviously ones that they knew I was better at, because obviously we told you. But Turner Prize, since when was that nerdy? That's the thing that we couldn't understand. It's like,
well, see, because the thing is that really what we learned about developing the show is that what's considered nerdy or geeky is just down to people being extremely interested in something or extremely talented at something, and it didn't really fit into a finite amount of categories. So there were things that people knew a lot of stuff about that were quite obscure, really. So we kind of wanted to give you a chance to show off some of these obscure knowledge bases. And some of those categories didn't get picked, so people didn't get to show off those things in the end.
Yeah.
But also, general knowledge is nerdy.
Oh, definitely.
So that is... something like the Turner Prize is considered a general knowledge topic, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was one of those things I was quite shocked at with Ryan. I don't know whether he's joining us, but it was when I initially refused. It's not that I refused to help Ryan out of any kind of weird tactical area. I genuinely thought Matt would be a better teacher for him. But I just thought, oh, sure, Ryan will be okay. Everybody knows about Kings and Queens, but it's someone like me who does a lot of quizzes. Kings and Queens is something we brush up on all the time because it's such an obvious thing to come up. So I was just surprised. I was like, oh wow, Ryan didn't know that. It was interesting to see how other people fared with different topics.
Yeah, I think everybody's got different experiences and different interests, and definitely being good at general knowledge quizzes opens you up to whole different categories that other people might not, even though they're nerds or geeks or whatever, they might not even talk about, or it might not be on their radar, you know?
Yeah.
Right, I have some questions from the internet. I'm just reading them through to see which ones are askable.
It's
Appropriate.
all, and
Um,
no
Ryan's
9/11
entered.
Hello, everyone.
Hi Ryan.
Hi,
We're
Ryan.
going on questions. Robin, you were a mega cutie in the finale. That was a
hate you,
statement,
Kenny.
not a question.
I hate you, Kenny.
Mark,
That's a statement, not a question.
have you written any other songs?
Yeah, I saw that one on Twitter. We actually did write another variation of the nerd anthem, or nerd lines, as it were, me and Matt, and we actually performed it for all the nerds on the very final night before the Nerd Eliminator. But that one didn't get shown, so the one we performed was an earlier version of it, but we might release a B-side. Who knows? We signed the rights away to Sky. We actually physically signed the rights to Sky. So.
Sharon, do you want to just quickly explain your role within the production for people? Because I know us faces because of the lovely show, but you were able to hide away from the cameras.
Yes. I don't know if I'm hearing you wrong, but in case you're calling me Sharon, it's Shannon.
Sorry.
Let me say that first.
I've got a bad speak.
Yeah, don't worry.
Retarded.
Don't worry, Robin with the Y. So I was one of the executive producers and brought on from the very, very early stages, from when Sky kind of bought the format from the company in the States. And myself and Adam, do you remember Adam, who was on set? Adam
Cube
and
guy.
What's that?
Cube guy.
Cube guy. Yeah, he's the creator of the Cube. So Adam and I worked on kind of developing it for a UK audience, so we changed some parts of the format, which you probably would recognize, and we cast it. And then it got commissioned based on the great cast that we found and the great presenter that we found. And Sky said, okay, go make it. And they basically told us to go make it on the 30th of June. And we were filming with you guys on like the 20th of July, which is extremely quick. So that was very busy but good. And then so then I hired kind of the team to do it. The series producer was Ross, who you probably remember. He was kind of telling you guys what to do a lot.
Yeah.
And then we filmed it for 4 weeks, and then we edited it. And so we took about 4 or 5 weeks per episode to put it all together, and then I would watch them through and give notes and kind of structure how things were going over the series. And then Connie would help us with scripts afterwards, and we worked with the publicist.
Oh, sorry, that's my
Oh
phone.
gosh, what's happened there? That's scary.
It's gone all tricky.
I
It's gone all
managed to
Beatles.
finally get
It's
it.
called mitosis.
You know what? Yeah, no. Anyway, carry on.
That's pretty much it. It's just kind of that's all. Just seeing it through, really, and hoping to get another one going.
Yeah, look, we need to get everyone to lobby Sky, don't we? Is that right? I keep getting Twitter messages from people asking what's going on.
Yeah. Well, at the moment they're doing research, because I guess because Sky is Sky, they can look and see exactly who's watching it when.
They need to research Twitter.
Is it?
In fact, Mark, I just retweet everything that Mark puts in my.
It's funny because I just find that if in terms of research, I just find that a lot of my fans are like teenage girls. So that's a demographic. Maybe.
Don't get too hard. I have been asked the question: is season 2 likely for the UK?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out now. We have no idea. I don't even know if I could give you a percentage. It's completely up to Sky at this point, but they'll be taking a lot of things into consideration, like how, like viewing figures, and we have a really strong, loyal fan base, and that means a lot as well.
I reckon it's one of these as well, like say Bake Off or something. In the first series, you know, people haven't discovered it yet. I think people need to discover it, and then
the audience definitely built, which is a really good thing, because the more people found out about it, the more people watched it, and people kept watching it. So, it's a very good thing.
Fingers crossed. Mark, you seem to have lots of followers that are nerd fans. Just send a message out for everyone to lobby at Sky.
Yeah. Even I sent the link to the Hangout, and also the to the casting for season 2. I don't know whether Shannon, is that still happening? Are you still getting inundated with people who want to be on the show?
We are. That's one of the things that I'm going to be doing this week, is going through the casting email, and because we've gotten a ton of videos for the next series, so that's great.
I've had so many messages from people that want to apply, and I did send them the link that I got from Mark.
Well, what link is that, Mark? What's the email?
It was the flyer. It was just a picture of the flyer.
From this year or last year?
From the one that you were using this year.
Oh, perfect. Then
I got rejected.
Oh.
I sent an email. I wanted to apply. Got rejected.
Did they say, what would ever make you think that you would be on the series?
It was more of a case of, I got the automatic one, and then just as I was about to start making my video, I got an email going, "Don't we know you?" And I was like, no, just a humble nerd looking for redemption, you know.
Well, maybe I can get away with applying if I apply as Count von Kraknor.
Maybe.
Change your name by Depot.
I have more questions.
A reality show just with you lot living together. And then Kenny was so upset that the show didn't go out after 9 o'clock because all his best bits got edited out for family viewing.
Do a pre-watershed version.
Yeah.
Speaking of best bits, what's everyone's favourite episode, week-wise?
Ooh.
Coming from an outsider who wasn't actually there, I really liked the cosplay one, purely for the fact that it was so funny seeing you guys dressed up. Just seeing you in those costumes, it was so funny. I had heard all about the dragon, I had heard about everything, and then actually seeing it, I literally just sat there with my mum watching me, laughing my head off. She was like, "Nothing's happened yet, Robin." I'm like, "But they look so stupid. I know these people. I know them in real life."
I'm kind of upset. Bits of it got cut off. Like that bit where I tried to fling my cape into the wind and it just got caught completely and wrapped around my arm. And I kept shaking and shaking it, and it just didn't come off.
Outtakes.
Yeah, I was hoping there would be more of there wasn't really a close-up of Mark as Professor Asimov with the drill motion, which I thought was one of the best parts of your act.
That was extremely clever. I loved that too.
It's
What
so
about the rest of
hard,
you guys?
isn't it, to edit it all, Shannon, because there's just so much stuff.
There's so much
It's
stuff.
such a nightmare. Because
Yeah, and-
it's not just editing it down, it's making it coherent and have a narrative, and it's such
Yeah.
a tough job.
There's a lot of stuff to get through, and the thing is that there were so many of you during cosplay, and we didn't have that many cameras, so there wasn't a camera on everyone all the time.
What are your guys' favourite? Actually, to compete in or watch?
Ryan.
I would be inclined to agree with Robin. I really enjoyed episode 2, as it was. And I think part of the reason is that I saw someone describe episode 2 as that was the one episode that contained more kind of scheming and backstabbing and betrayal than all of the American series is combined. And I think that made for a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny?
I would say the gaming, but I'm also upset about the gaming one because I didn't do as well as I hoped I was going to do.
Oh, were
Because
there
it was
other
too
features
difficult.
which were good, which you enjoyed about the
Mark's dick.
gaming one?
Speaking of which, Shannon, a question for you
Yeah.
from the internet. Why were the penises not blurred out?
Yeah, come
Is
on.
that not classed as kind of soft?
Why were what?
The penis is not blurred out.
Of
Where
what?
was the
In the
censorship?
lycra.
Oh, what? In the cosplay?
No,
No.
not the gaming, the
Morph
morph suits.
suits.
In
Yeah, the
what
morph
suits?
suits.
Oh,
the
the
morph-
morph suits.
Yeah, you know.
Well, they didn't. They passed all compliance departments. It was fine.
I don't
Fine
believe
I
for-
mean,
fine
people
for
could
under
happily
18.
If they were
masturbate.
bigger, they might have failed compliance.
Oh! Yeah, they didn't really qualify. There wasn't any concern.
You're so bad, Connie. Right, what was your favourite, Mark? Moving swiftly on and off the topic of penises.
Very quickly, episode 7 because it had the least drama about me. I would say it was for me. Honestly,
Self-centered.
it just had less crap about me in it, and it was just more about it was more a Matt Curtis episode. And Matt Curtis was my favorite housemate. No offense. I actually really liked his montage at the end. I thought it was really touching, and yeah, it was my favorite episode. Yeah.
What was Shannon's? What was yours favourite one, like, to think up the challenge?
What was my favorite challenge?
Yeah, because you obviously did most of the like part of the concept. Which one was your one that you were excited about the most?
You know what? I like the ones that have a bit of a twist to it, and I really liked the first playground pick. I thought that was a really clever device because I thought it was nice that the kind of underdog ended up being the leader. I thought that was a nice thing, and it involved everyone. So, you know, as the series goes on and you lose people, you lose options, and it kind of just becomes a little bit more restrictive. But with the first one, all of you were there, and nobody knew each other, so it was kind of like going into it blind, and we had no idea how it was going to turn out, and it was just getting to know all of you. So I like that one the best.
Great answer there.
Yeah, because you selflessly picked an episode that you weren't in, and Mark also picked an episode that didn't.
To be fair
feature
though,
you.
Connie, I did have 6 out of the 8 to choose from for ones I wasn't in.
Yes,
So I had a
true.
nice range.
I have,
But
to,
I have to say, watching it and not being in it was so much easier because I could just mock them all. And if I was in it, I would have had to defend myself, and I didn't have to do that.
I remember filming episode 2 and just being in stitches. As we were, you know, it's just so funny, like belly laugh funny, seeing the worlds and the weird characters that you guys came up with. From a sort of, I mean, there were lots of times when we were all in stitches, but that did stand out really.
The creativity was really impressive.
Yeah, totally.
For 3 hours.
Stories.
And actually, so plausible. You could believe real, you know, the comic book characters, and you could believe those actually being in some sort of Marvel comic or something.
Well, we
global
did
warming.
create an entire world dystopian future for ours, and I remember we had enough information that I remember Yasmin in particular was very serious about us adapting it into our own proper comic book series because we had like a page for each character.
Yeah, you did.
It still could be done.
It was very tangible. Writing.
Actually,
Yeah,
just a
but they didn't have
question.
a dinosaur.
Question to Robin and Ryan. Like, had you had stayed in it, which challenges do you think you would have fared better in, and which ones do you wish you were in? I know it's one of those coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you know.
I think Ryan's is going to be an easy answer, so he can go first.
Well, I would have taught you about engineering, so you could actually build the castle properly. Let's see what else. The teddy bear obviously falling through the glass planes. That's pretty much simple to do with transfer of potential to kinetic energy. That's easy too.
Obviously.
Hopefully, I would have improved on the.
Teddy bear could roll off, Ryan?
Well, the teddy bear can't roll off pretty much, and so it removes that problem that was
No, that was
neglected.
the ball.
This ball, yeah.
From in the case of the ball, yeah. Let's see, what else is there? Oh yes, the fast reactions in the game. That would have been a very fun one to do. I've got my own drone actually, so I'm quite familiar with piloting them. Let's see, what were the other changes? The debate would have been great. I ran a debating society at Oxford University, so I'm quite familiar with that.
But which topic would you have done, Ryan?
Oh, remind me of the topics again.
It was Doctor Who, Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings.
Ooh. I could easily ramble for a very long time about Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah.
Let's see, what else was there?
Nerditch. I mean, bad nerds and broomsticks.
Well, I mean, I could have made a
how
reasonable
would you
attempt
have
at
been
that,
at
but it's
that?
pretty much random chance that. Unless, I mean, I could have done like the calculations, and the best thing to do would be actually to let go of the object instead of applying a force to them, because you don't know the exact velocity that you're firing at. So you could just let go, and you actually work out how many seconds after letting go, based on the gravitational field of the Earth, you should let go in order to get the arc to actually go properly. It depends how long you have to work it out.
So would you let go before the target?
Well, yeah, because if you let go after the target, you've still got some forward momentum, so it'll keep going forward and it'll miss the target.
You see, as
What about wind factor?
The wind factor is mostly negligible at the velocity that you're travelling at.
Right. That's
It's
what,
faster
I was
than you
expecting.
think.
I was about to say that.
You see, as Ryan has gone through and explained why he'd be good at everyone, I'm pretty sure I would have been shit at them all, but been entertaining throughout. So the cosplay one, I probably would have fallen on my ass and probably done a really bad costume which fell apart. The castle one, I would have literally just kept moving the bricks for no reason. What was after that? The debate, I would have kept talking until someone told me to shut up. With probably
Robin
all
was
of the
quite a
points.
thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, Shut Up Robin was a joke amongst the crew within the first 5 minutes, wasn't it? I remember standing in line and talking to Kerry. Well, no, I was talking to Kerry while we're sitting down, and the crew kept coming over going, "You're not supposed to be talking to each other." And then we all stand in line with a microphone, and I kept laughing because of no apparent reason, and Shut Up just became a very common thing.
Karen was a good talker too, wasn't she? She could talk.
She could talk.
Yeah.
Karen
She could talk. It's just a shame that no one was really listening.
Oh, okay.
It's not in that
you could
sense.
talk
In the
again,
sense
right?
of she would talk and you'd be paying attention, and then she would keep talking. You're like, okay, we get the point you're trying to make. And she would.
So how did you guys decide who's going to be on this Google Hangout? Do you all?
It's just who's available.
We have a group that we all chat with and bitch about you guys with. We're
Oh.
like, oh, the crew, oh.
What?
You
Who's in the
love
group?
us.
Oh,
Who's
don't
in the group?
miss Nick Cramp. Oh,
Oh, Nick.
just talking to him. Apparently, you guys have a load of photos from behind the scenes
What of us?
of us guys from where you've been taking throughout the recording.
I don't know about that. What, just like that we just have on our personal
No,
cameras?
Nick. I actually rang Nick and asked him because he was taking loads of photographs on his phone just of us doing stuff and being on set and everything, and pictures of us with David Bradley and Captain Ryan and everything. And he told me that he surrendered them over to Objective.
Like press shots, publicity stuff.
No,
Not even publicity
just
stuff.
like
Just kind
us
of
mucking
Just behind the
around.
scenes pics.
yeah.
Right.
Like when I left and I got lifted up because I said if I'm the first one out, I want to be carried out like Harry by Hagrid. And then I happened to be the first one out, which was quite good irony.
Who would know where they are? I mean,
Well,
Well,
like
Nick-
press shots. Like if you were like posing with David Bradley and all of that, we would have those and they'd be in our publicity folder. But anything beyond that, I don't know.
We'll have to have a look. We'll have to do some detective work.
But are you talking about ones like that, like with you posing with people?
No, it was mainly like for what I was said. Nick had taken a load of photos of us all sitting on the throne and having a laugh.
Oh, I see. Yeah, those
Little
two
ones like that.
publicity ones. I can have a look and see if there's anything good in there. If you want to have a look.
That'd be great. Pop it in the
Connie,
Dropbox.
Anything good in that?
Connie, I noticed there was a lot of comments about your dress in the finale.
Well, the thing was, I was still, my little one was really young, and I was still feeding milk, so I do look really heavily in. I look, yes, well endowed.
It was just so funny how you were wearing the jacket. You were wearing the jacket, and everyone didn't matter. And then as soon as the jacket came off, everyone's like,
But also,
"Those are boobs."
if you remember, like that was kind of quite a long day, wasn't it? And I wasn't uploading the milk.
I just remember you standing there, and you would be standing talking, and then the next thing you know, your phone's going off, and you were like, "Just talk to
Yeah, it probably didn't help that fire scare that we had with one of the pieces of electrical equipment during.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
The lighting equipment.
Hmm.
Right, let's go back to some
Yeah, health and safety.
questions.
Moving on.
Before we
Edit
get
this?
into any hazardous materials.
You asking a question, Robin?
We've got, okay, so you mentioned how we should do like a Big Brother nerd style. Because I think from both crew and cast, who was the most entertaining within the house?
Ooh.
As in general off-camera stuff. Or on camera. I think it's a shame that
really
I had...
difficult because you were all entertaining in different ways.
I think I'm a bit gutted that all the drag stuff got cut out. I heard a lot about Princess Kenny and Curtis with their little drag off and things like this.
I was in a crop
See,
top.
Shannon, we need a DVD where we can put in extras, DVD extras of all the things that got cut. And me and
No,
Shannon
the
can
LARPing.
do a commentary over the stuff.
Yeah, like the moment
People would
when
pay millions for that.
the moment where Kerry said, "Who's R2-3PO?"
That's also what they asked her to do a Hodor impression, and her reaction was, "What's a Hodor?" in front of the actor who plays Hodor.
No, I always remember there was a bit with Kerry and her, what was it, the candy floss incident? Like that didn't make it in.
So they all had the sweets, and they were all having this serious discussion about who's going into the nerd off. And Kerry had dropped a bit of candy floss down her boobs, and so she just sat there and looked at the cameras like, "What am I supposed to do?" And they were obviously telling her, "Just continue as this is normal conversation." So she sat there and slowly lowered her face down and ate the candy floss.
Oh, Carrie. Listen,
Oh,
guys, I'm
Carrie.
really sorry. I have to go. I have to eat dinner.
Yeah, you must be hungry.
Starving.
Go
I had a meeting
eat.
after work, and now it's dinner time. Chicken, roast chicken.
I want roast chicken.
I just had
Let me know when the
ramen.
next one is, guys. I'll
The
come
next
back.
roast chicken, I'll be round.
Come
We'll
on.
have a nerd hangout at Toby's Carveries.
Yeah. Oh, classy.
Nice.
Classy.
Let me know when. It's good to see all you guys.
Good
Yes,
to see
Shannon.
you too.
Good to have you.
See ya.
Shannon, let's
See
speak. Let's speak.
Definitely.
Oh,
Death
okay.
balls.
Cool.
Bye.
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 So did you like the fact that her image is her in a wig, Connie?
I love the blue wig. It's good. Oh, I was wearing a wig last time. I feel wigless. Shall I go and get another wig?
Go for it.
In the last hangout, I was wearing a wig. Okay, I'm gonna wig up.
Right. While Connie's gone,
Let's do
there's
some
a question
inappropriate
for.
questions.
There is a question for me. Why was I such a cunt and vote Karen out, even though she had nothing to do with my castle being shit? Actually, she had everything to do with our castle being shit, because it was a shit design. If it wasn't for the stakes that were added last minute, our castle would have just been completely taken down by the support beams. And plus, all she did for the first 10 minutes, we only had 40 minutes to do that, and for 10 minutes she was counting all those fucking sticks, every single one of them. We don't really need to count every single fucking
What's
stick.
this? It sounds like there's an argument that's broken out since I went to get my wig.
Oh no,
We were
and just me.
discussing the reasons why Karen got voted into the Nerdoff and why their castle would have been worse if it wasn't for unforeseen circumstances.
And
our
plus,
castle being crap as well, obviously.
she was such a controlling fucking bitch. You have no idea
Stop,
how
no.
controlling she is.
No.
Well, that's what you
This
need
is
in order to be able
nice.
to get a PhD. You have to be able to control all the variables, whether they like it or not.
Stop it.
You excited about your PhD, Ryan?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, where
Well,
are you?
I've just got. Well, at the moment, I'm just at home in Derby. I'm be moving into Cambridge at the end of September.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I've just actually come back from a PhD training conference over in Cardiff, where they're basically telling us that our future is hopeless. None of us will make it into academia, but it's worth doing a PhD to get the title of doctor in front of your name.
Congratulations, by the way, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. So what
Yes,
have all you been up
but-
to? What's your next steps in life at the moment?
Well, I think before we talk about our next steps, I think you should talk a bit about your Mars conference that you just been to.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yes, that one. Yes. So about a fortnight ago, I went over to Washington D.C. for the Mars Society convention. That was a absolutely fascinating experience. Potentially one of the highlights was I got to meet Dr. Harrison Smith, who was one of the Apollo 17 astronauts, and to date actually the only scientist who ever went to the moon. So that was a great experience. I operated live streams on behalf of Mars One from there, showing what was going on the ground at the convention, and also had a chance to meet 14 of my fellow 100 candidates from around the world who are still in the selection process.
So exciting. How long were you there?
Just for a week, unfortunately.
And where were you staying?
Well,
The
so
other-
I was sharing a hotel room with 7 of my fellow candidates over there, and after the convention finished, I then went back to Boston with 2 other candidates as well and stayed with them for a few days.
Oh my gosh. That must have been a very intelligent hotel.
I'm very jealous of the Harrison Schmidt. That was cool. Like, you know, I'm really, really. I'd love to meet someone who walked on the moon. That would be amazing. And it's sad to think that there'll probably be a time in the not so distant future where we'll be living in a world where there have been no men alive who've walked on the moon.
I know, it's
We're all getting
absolutely
really
tragic.
old.
We need to do whatever we can to avert that world. And and yes, Connor, you were right though about it being an interesting, intelligent hotel room. I distinctly remember being still awake at 3 a.m. because I was being asked questions about the nature of dark matter and dark energy. That was quite fun.
Interesting. And could there be life on where is it that's might have water under the crust? Is it Pluto?
Well, pretty much everywhere in the solar system has copious quantities of water, so you can make a convincing case for almost anywhere to have life, except for maybe like the surface of Venus, because
But
well,
Or the sun.
yes, the sun is also a negligible probability.
Genius.
Is it Ganymede the one that what's the Saturn moon that has the water underneath?
Well, so there's Europa, which is one of the moons of Jupiter, which contains a copious ocean of liquid water under its crust. With regards to Saturn, Enceladus is the best candidate.
Oh my gosh, it would be amazing.
Loving the wig, Connie. Thought we haven't mentioned the wig just yet.
Thanks. It's a bit matted. It's unsatisfying. I can't run my hands through my hair. Ugh. Have you all eaten your food?
Yes, I've just come back from my dinner. So.
Okay. What did you eat?
I actually had it was kind of like a Thai chicken thing. So very spicy. Sweet chili. It was like sweet chili chicken.
Kenny, what did you eat?
I had leftover shit.
I'm bringing
Are we running out of
plant-based
things to talk
now.
about? I've got lots of questions still.
No,
We've got plenty of
hungry.
questions to ask.
It's either that, I talk about the food, or I have to go and eat food. Okay, sorry, carry on. More questions.
Being the
I'm
king
going
of
to
the
leave in
nerds.
5 minutes to eat, but I'm going to listen to 5 minutes worth more.
Being the king of the nerds, does it give you a seat in the Queen's cabinet? I think we should.
Oh yes, we all have seats in the Queen's cabinet, of course. We go down every Tuesday for tea and biscuits, and also care for the corgis.
Not in a Tory cabinet, mate. Not in your life.
Is it just me, or is the conversation sometimes freezing on you, or is it just on my? Is it my?
I believe it's just on your end.
No, it's happened once or twice with me, Connie.
Yeah.
I keep missing all the good bits, and then
I know.
I don't know what's going on. You know, like when you can't hear someone chatting properly and then you just like nod along and then you're like, what's going on? It's a bit like that.
The best thing is to have headphones on, Connie. I think that's so you can
Shall I go and get
sometimes-
some headphones? Will that help?
Probably, yeah.
Hang on.
In that case, well, Connie's got another question for you, Mark.
Go for it.
Why do you jump around so much when you win, when you're excited? Is it a sexual thing?
Why does it always have to be about sex? No, certainly not a sexual thing. No, I don't know. I'm a hyper person. That's just who I am. Like you should, like to be fair to you, like if you think that's bad, in 2014 I was at the final of the Six Nations in Paris, and when Ireland won the Six Nations, I broke down and cried, like and then it was like massively ecstatic because I thought we had lost. So.
You cried? I don't think you'd ever cry.
No, and that's just the Ireland rugby team. Like, if they lost, what's the big deal? It's like, but like, I got so emotionally invested in the game. Plus, I had a lot of wine because I was in Paris that afternoon, and yeah, I'm a very animated person. Anytime I'm at any sports game or even just like being involved with stuff, I don't know. I'm just like that. It's just I'm quite hyper.
I cry really easily. And when you were crying, I was welling up because I cry when other people cry.
I was shocked.
I cried in The Simpsons. Like I literally just cry at anything. No offense, Mark.
Oh no, I was bawling. I was bawling when I was Inside Out, which I thought was one of the best Pixar movies I've seen in years. And there's moments in that, and I was openly weeping in the cinema. I thought it was amazing. But
have you ever cried in The Simpsons?
There's moments in The Simpsons which are purely beautiful. There are some beautiful moments in The Simpsons, especially the early stuff.
When Homer made a touching speech about parenthood and he'd solved all the kids' problems and Maggie couldn't sleep and he put the dummy in her mouth, and like I was literally like, ah.
And it's the same. There's again another beautiful Homer moment is when he enters her into the beauty pageant, and then Lisa won't go in. Lisa won't enter it, and Marge tells her, Homer sold his ticket to the Duff Blimp to enter you to pay for the entry fee, and she just goes, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." And it's just like that's how much he loves her, and it's a lovely moment.
That makes me cry already. Hi everyone. When you have kids, you'll find that you cry even more.
Who's planning on having kids here? Show of hands.
Well, it's somewhat complicated. If you're in 38% gravity and don't know how fetuses develop.
Yeah, none of you gonna join Club Parenthood ever.
No, I'm going that way. I'm swaying that way. Yeah, I hate children. They cry and they scream. I just want to kill it with fire.
I think I would hate any spawn of Kenny. I think one of Kenny and one of Kenny's type. He's like the rare Mewtwo. There's only one of them. You can deal with one of them. You don't need another one.
And the gene pool now.
It's really not up to me. It's up to my other half. Like and I am not, and we're not in that level yet. We're not
You'd
talking
be a
about that level
great
yet.
dad, Mark. You've got to have kids.
Oh, thanks. I really that means a lot.
Yeah.
Hold her down and insert your penis.
Don't worry, no. Stop crying. No, start crying again.
Robin, you'd be a good mum.
Don't say that. Way too many people have said that to me recently. Well, someone said it quite often because I teach at a dance school, and I dropped the kid the other day, and one of the mums literally said seriously, going, "Robin, you're going to be such a great parent." And I asked her if she was being sarcastic, and she genuinely wasn't. And I just
you drop
this
them
kid.
enough times, and that fixes everything.
They're hardy. I've dropped mine before.
Well, I mean, everyone knows that you take a physicist, of course, and drop them a few times, and that's how you get engineers.
Nah, you just drop anything, and that's why you get gravity. And there you go. You got your physics degree.
Anyways, while we still have Connie here, I think a lot of us are dying to hear about that chess game.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I've got to go and eat now. on speed chess. On that note.
Well, if you eat your dinner as quickly as Mark plays speed chess, you're never going to do another of these hangouts, are you, love?
On that note, are we going to hang out again? Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
can do, yeah.
I think we'll be a bit more organised and we'll try and get as many people as possible.
How many can a Google Hangout cope with?
10.
Ooh.
So
everybody.
if some of us London people group together, we'll be able to get everyone.
Ooh. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe we
Do
should
it now,
find some
Just
anniversary. But in the meantime, everyone tell your people, tell your homies to lobby at Sky.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that will definitely get a
Let my
series 2.
people go.
Because there's a lot of love for the show on the internet.
Hashtag the sky is the limit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the sky is the limit.
Yeah, because they're stopping us from
Limiting
renewing.
us. Yeah. Grr. Right. Anyway, listen. Good to speak to you, gang. Sorry that I wasn't
Good to
fed
speak to you
in
too.
And
Okay.
we'll do it again, yeah, soon.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
Yes.
Yay. Miss you.
Miss you
See
too.
you.
Bye.
So long. Farewell.
Farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Adieu. Adieu. To your.
No, I can't hang up.
I can hang
On
up.
that
It's
note.
okay. Bye.
Bye. You know, we can hang up on you. It's like-
There you go. Now that the important people are gone, we can move on with our questions.
Shall we start from the beginning of the finale?
Yeah, okay.
So obviously you've got the nerd locker. Kenny's already expressed his complete fear at the inanimate object. How did you feel, Mark?
But the quiz was pretty. Yeah, I was pretty chuffed when the quiz came up, to be honest. But like, there was to explain to people about the way it kind of went down. There was two distinct moments where I could have gone out, and the other thing which the show didn't really put in, we all got to 5. Everyone got to 5, including Emily. So they cut out one of the questions that she got right, and she was very close to knocking me out. So it could have easily been any of us at any time. Like Matt, he said himself, like there was a couple of times he made some very educated guesses when it came to some of the questions, and that's why he was very calculatedly went forward and got to 5 first. But the rest of us actually did really well as well, and we all achieved the objective of getting to 5. And they cut out one of Emily's. It was the Harry Potter one. Remember the one about the door? Which was what's the question to open? What's the spell to open doors? Yeah, but they cut that one out. And I could have easily went. Yeah, I easily
Standard Book of Spells, Chapter 1.
Well done.
I could have easily.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I could have easily went out in that one because I don't know nothing about Harry Potter. And
Even though you look like him.
even though I look like him right now, even with the glasses. But even like I made a very educated guess because it's the only word I kind of heard within the Harry Potter saga I have heard thrown about, and I just made an educated guess when it came to that one. And Emily could have easily knocked me out at that point. And then the maths one was just a pure guess. The maths one was pure. I shuffled the cards. I didn't even look at them. And you can see me do it. It just shuffled the cards and just held them up. I again could have easily went out then. So it was that quiz could have been anyone's. Really.
I got so mad at that question because
am
everyone
also
just
mad at
guessed,
it.
and
Wait, you guessed too? Don't you have an A-level in
no,
maths?
just let me finish. Basically, everyone just finished guessing and held their signs up, and Matt obviously didn't have to do anything, and I was actually trying to work it out, and everyone was fucking talking over each other, laughing away. I'm like, just shut the fuck up, people! They didn't put that in. I was so mad.
That whole sequence, by the way, it lasts all of 10 minutes on screen. Took at least 2.5 hours to film.
5.
It took. Wasn't that long?
Yeah.
God, I don't even remember. I just remember it took a long time. And when you see us in our confessionals, in our interviews, I'm so red. I'm almost like orange because of the suntan I got, and because we were just standing there in the sun, and I probably went to the toilet about twice because I drank a lot of Red Bull that morning, like 2 or 3 times that during that whole sequence. So it looks very fast, but we were there, just from the telling the question to the having to shuffle to explaining the answer to everyone explaining the answers and to them even just like pulling down the thing to show us whether it was right or not. That's that took ages to do. And no wonder weren't you guys like held up in Nerdvana waiting for us to come out?
We
Yeah.
weren't allowed to in Nirvana. We had to, we all sat in Karen's room.
Well, I do remember us all waiting in a corridor for a very long amount of time, particularly poor Karen in that full bodysuit.
Yeah, she was in that lion costume for the whole 4 hours while we were waiting for you guys. It was slightly ridiculous.
Who did you guys expect to win from day one, and did that alter as the days went on?
From day one, I thought Matt was going to win, just by talking to him about it and like the traits that he had. I think as soon as I found out there were quizzes, I think that also swayed in his favour.
I honestly thought Mark was going to win from the start, from day one.
Well,
yes, I thought that was the same as well. To be fair, I didn't really speak to Matt that much throughout all the time that I was there, so I didn't really. All that I really remember is everyone else talking about him as being the puppet master overlord or so, but I didn't really know much about his skills.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't remember interacting
I
with him
never
much.
heard that puppet master thing.
Oh, that was pretty much Mark. Particularly the what was it when we had the drinking game or whatever, and I remember you, Mark, you were like, it's like he's getting people inebriated just so he can play his mind games.
I actually thought Matt. Yeah, from day one, I thought either Matt. Personally, I wanted Curtis to win. That he was my. I wanted. If I had to pick anyone other than myself to win, I wanted Curtis to win. But I knew Matt was definitely strong. Definitely, Bucky's favorite. So.
Yeah, as the days went on, it was a sway between you or Matt, because you got emotional, then you couldn't really think clearly.
True.
On some places, like
True.
Sudoku.
I know.
And Matt just can't really do anything outside of quizzes, so it could have gone either way.
Well, he was pretty good. He's pretty good at logic puzzles, and I know, not to sound defeatist, but one of the things about getting into the final, which was like, oh god, I'm in the final. Then it's like, oh god, I have to do the final. Like, you know what I mean? I can't just sit back and watch it. And I was like, oh, I knew there was going to be a series of puzzles, and like, and I don't know. I don't think I was really kind of mentally ready for it. Like the quiz, I was actually genuinely happy when that came up, because I've done buzzer quizzes before, and like it was really close. It could have gone either way with that. And I'm genuinely kind of, all in all, looking back at it, I haven't lost a night of sleep over the way it happened. I'm pretty content to have just gotten to the final anyway, and also I'm pretty happy that I won the quiz. I'm kind of, if anything, if I could walk away with one thing, I could say, well, I did beat him in a quiz, and that was pretty good. And everything else was either just circumstantial or luck. And to be fair, like he was a worthy winner. Like I've no dispute about that whatsoever. Like so.
Well, don't forget as well, when in the hotel after we finished, we went and just bankrupted that quiz machine with you and Matt together.
That was so cool. That was actually, I was damn proud of that. Like we should make a movie about guys who go around scamming quiz machines.
There are some people who buy one of those quiz machines, learn the answers, and there's only 10,000 questions or so, and then just go on a tour around and just make fortunes out of it.
Well, relative fortunes, like, and I guess if you're spending money, like
I've heard figures that it's comparable to a 70k a year salary.
Jesus, you're in the wrong business.
Would you rather die in a shark or a fire?
Sorry, clarify. Was the first one in a shark?
It's just,
so would you
it
rather
was so
be
badly
died by
worded.
a shark attack or by being burned?
Oh well, the shark, of course. There's actually a quantifiable scale of the amount of pain and misery that you can get from different deaths. You can look it up actually, and fire is one of the highest ranked ones.
Wow.
Yeah, I just don't like water, and I do not like sharks.
I mean, have you ever heard someone like being burnt alive and they're just like, oh well, this is a bit boring. Like,
No.
got somewhere to be. No, they're all screaming, of course. You can look at, say, the last words of Richard Feynman as he was on his deathbed, for instance, and they're like, oh, I'd hate to die twice. This is just boring.
I liked Feynman. He was cool.
Yeah. Good old Feynman.
You can play the bongos.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that the physicists that become well known always have something somewhat eccentric about them. So, oh yeah, I do like Newton as well, particularly when he wanted to learn how the eye works. So he kind of just dissected his own eye, and as a consequence, he was in pain for the entire rest of his life, and that's why he was mean to everyone. Crazy old man.
But it wasn't Newton the thing? Wasn't Newton like one of his other interests was alchemy? He genuinely wanted to be an alchemist.
Yeah, yeah. Well, chemistry wasn't really an established field then. Well, put it this way: Matt is like Newton light. You don't want to get on. You don't want to cross Newton. Newton fell out with Robert Hooke and decided to wipe him out of history. So he burnt like all the paintings of him that existed. So no one now knows even anything really about Hooke. They know about some of his achievements, but nothing about what he was like as a person or what he looked like.
So we've spoken about the final Nerd Locker. So when we heard Nerd Eliminator, what did people think was going to happen?
I
was
thought it
hoping
was
for a
going to be a
lightsaber
closer
sword.
game.
What did you say, Kenny?
I thought it was going to be a closer game between Mark and Matt. Especially on Sudoku. Because Mark looked like he knew exactly what he was doing.
I just find it funny that Mark would have actually got more points if he just filled the whole thing in with one. Because then he would have got 9 points, because at least 9 of the ones would be in the right place.
When you're in the position of doing it, like with the pressure on, like it's different. Like I really wasn't thinking straight. Like it was one of those things. I've only played Sudoku like once or twice, and it's again same with chess. Like I've literally played. I can count them.
We're not talking about the chess game.
I know.
That's okay. This chess game needs to be spoken about, and this is the reason why it needs to be spoken about. It's been edited in such a way that it looks better than it was, and it was truly hideous.
Okay, the sword speed chess thing. Like again, my thing was play it to win it. Like play it to get the checkmate as fast as I could.
Oh, that's not the problem. That was not the problem. It was the fact that neither of you knew how to play chess.
I know.
Shortly after your checkmate, Matt decides to move his king 2 spaces, and then proceeds to try to move his king into another check. Well, could have quite easily taken the queen. And it was the fact that this whole thing that I've just spoken about was around 10 to 15 minutes long, because after each move, the cameras had to adjust, everyone was asking questions, we were getting told not to react, and it was the fact that...
It wasn't like that. It was only that one ridiculous, stupid move that Matt pulled that had to pause the entire fucking game.
2 kings. 2...
Yeah.
I don't think Matt should have won that game. Mark played it quite well, but not well enough to not frustrate me. Just better.
He was a better player.
But Matt should not have won that game.
And that's the other thing. I knew Matt had the upper hand by going second, or by going second.
No, he's retired. He shouldn't have won that.
I saw like if had it gone on, we would have had to play Connect 4, and we would have also had to play a round of that UFC game. That was that was other possibilities for the Nerd Eliminator.
Would have wrecked you on UFC.
I'd have just button mashed to hell, and it was the other one, the UFC one, and then there was the Connect 4, like 15 grand for a game of Connect 4. Seriously? Like, I'd refuse. I'd be like, no, I'm not paying Connect 4 for 15 grand. No way. But it was like,
You should have practiced in the arcades. You can play giant Connect 4s.
Yeah, well, I guess there was a point, I think, towards the end where I was just tired, and I just kind of wanted it to just you know, if had it had gone on, we'd have been there for another 2 hours or something like that, like to you know, to hammer out a winner, and it would have been. And personally, I was just like, you know what, he's quite far ahead, and not to say I threw it, you know, no, I'm definitely not, but I tried my best. But by the time it was over, it was over. And to be personally honest, I was kind of relieved. I was just like, well, there you go. Matt's won it. He's done well. You know, fair play to him. And you know, it's like one of those things. Has he decided who he's taken to America, by the way?
I don't know.
He did actually go on, yeah.
No, you go on because I was going to change it. So finish what you're saying.
No, just the thing is, Matt actually won a couple of months ago. Matt actually won on his O2 subscription, like a night at the Belfast Film Festival, a romantic meal for two, and a night in the Europa Hotel, which is a very nice hotel in Belfast. And he would have shared it with me, but he said, listen, I don't really want to have a romantic night with you, but he actually gave me the gift. He actually gave me the prize that he won, and I took my girlfriend over to Belfast for the evening. So, you know, it's really nice gesture. So I've thanked him before, but I'll thank him again for that.
So yes, internet, we are all friends still.
Yes.
Well, are you sure it was a nice gesture and it's not just part of a grander game he's playing in order to earn favours from you as part of a new plot?
I don't know. If he ever wants libel and defamation advice, he knows where to call. Like, you know, so.
It's certainly advantageous to have a lawyer at your beck and will.
And that goes for everyone. If anyone gets anything said about them online, please let me know, and I'll sort it out.
He's looking at you, Lance. He's looking at you. Anyway,
Right,
so
next question.
We've spoken about the chess, so let's talk about one of the other challenges, which was the Game of Thrones one. And one of the people
Daddy
on the
Stark.
4chans asked if Karen's such an expert, how did she not know Rickard Stark? And I thought it would be appropriate to... So when Mark chose Karen went on this speech, which you saw in the episode, of how she's read all the film, read all the books, watched all the TV shows, and all this stuff. At that point, Yasmin literally turned around to me and went, "Oh, was I supposed to say how I've read all the books and I've entered national Game of Thrones quizzes and come second and this and that and the other," in such a plain face of, "Oh, did I forget to brag about my Game of Thrones?" It was just so funny how like flat faced she was about it. But like, go on, you guys talk about the Game of Thrones and explain all that madness.
Now, from what it looked like from my angle, because I couldn't see your board, obviously, it looked like you guys finished so ridiculously quickly, and I was genuinely worried because by the time you guys finished your could you stop rubbing your mic, please? By the time you guys finished your board, I was like, Yasmin and Matt haven't completed at least 3 or 4 spaces, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't really remember it. Like, again, the Daddy Stark thing, I was just taking the piss. I was just like, oh, I don't know what fucking but Daddy Stark, fuck it. You know, it's like, you know, again, they was, you know, that was kind of like my kind of attitude to the final was kind of like, you know, we'll just have a go and have a lot. I didn't realize they were gonna. Maybe I know it was one of those things. I really should have listened to the rules, but they penalized against anything that was wrong on it, like which I was like, which I felt was a bit harsh. Like, you know, I guess, but at the same time, like we wouldn't have won we wouldn't have won anyway because they had more right answers.
Yeah.
And I was under pressure because I could, obviously had came out of the loss of the test tube one, and I thought like, screw it, like we need to win this, and I called Holder as fast as I could. We, you know, just blasted it all down. Karen did a valiant effort. Disappointed she didn't know the dad, and obviously there was a kind of this bit of dispute about who this mother of Jon Snow was. I don't know much about Thrones. I've only seen the show. But is there any kind of like canonical reference to who Jon Snow's mother is?
Yeah, they mention a name in the books. They don't tell you who it is, but a name is mentioned. So obviously they took that as that for the challenge, because that is something that only like a real King of the Nerds, not King of the Nerds, Game of Thrones person would know. So I think that was the red herring to kind of
Did
get
Yasmin
people.
even know?
Once it
No,
was said,
no,
she
she
went,
didn't.
"Oh well, yeah, that's mentioned, but." Blah,
But
blah,
it
blah.
wasn't written specifically. This is the mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It says how he had this girl, and they spoke about whose John mother was blah blah, as in passing, as in rumours and stuff.
So yeah, that's had it been the Lannister family, and funny enough, the Lannister family was a lot more interesting. It's not as big, but I knew more about the Lannisters than I would about the Starks. So, but like I said before, I'd only just watched Throne. I'd only just even watched Game of Thrones. I only started watching it when season 4 started to air, and I blitzed season 1 to 3 over Easter that year, not even knowing about the TV show or anything like that at the time, and which is ironic because the show is really popular here in Northern Ireland, obviously because it's filmed here, and one of my best friends is a set builder on it, and yeah, it took me a while to get around to it, but I have to say I quite enjoy it, and I should recommend if you ever come over to Ireland, you should do the Game of Thrones tour. There's a few of them that go out to all their locations and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool.
Sounds cool. So, what was it like from your side, Ryan? Because obviously, me and Kenny could see Matt's side of the board, so we were able to see how literally Yasmin was telling him what to put, and he wrote it, and that was pretty much what was going on this side. What was happening from your perspective?
Well, I think there was to a small extent some confusion as to the rules of it. I could tell that obviously what they were thinking was, we throw as many on the board as possible, we say we're done, and then you tally up the scores, and knowing that it's not possible to beat Yasmin in terms of correct answers, but maybe you can get more correct in a certain amount of time. That was the idea, yeah, that was the idea, and so I think there was a lack of communication. I mean, I remember that that was my impression as well on what was happening, so I could see the strategy that Mark was playing. But there was also the amusement as well, like when we saw, what was it, Daddy Stark, and brilliant.
Yeah, I know. I probably get a lot of Game of Thrones fans getting a lot of hate for that, but come on, yeah, YOLO.
I haven't seen any yet.
No, well, no, neither. I haven't seen either any, so I don't think anyone's taking it that offensive. Like, but the yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things, like, you know, Karen did know a fair bit, but probably just not enough. Like, you know, it's like, it's not as if it came up a whole timeline of name every captain of the Enterprise plus the Starship Registry plus the class. You know, and that didn't come up, so I was like, oh well. It'd be more so if it was like something Harry Potter related or something like that. I'd be, because there was a couple of times Harry Potter questions came up, and I was like, no, don't. He's not going to confound me again at this point, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, so the next, I think it's important to note that all the challenges, the production had specifically chosen them for the people in the nerd off. So say Kenny got through instead of Mark, there would have been a different set. So neither of the two competitors had an edge in their specialities.
Yeah, from what I heard, those quiz buzzers they made literally the night before when they found out me and Matt were going in, and they actually said like that wasn't going to be in, but they said because it was me and Matt, they needed to have a quiz off. It had to happen. That had to go in. So that's the reason why they put that in, which was glad. So,
It was pretty damn good.
yeah, it was cool. Like,
I think out of all the challenges, that was the best one.
Yeah, that was the most tense moment potentially in the entire series. Just when you were neck and neck, and
it was literally neck and neck, and there wasn't any edits for it.
Yeah, and there was two questions. I could have easily won it. There was a Star Trek question, which I got wrong, and I was kicking myself because I got the two ships mixed up, like Botany Bay and Bounty, and you can see how that's easily done, like, you know. And ironically enough, the ship that I mentioned I got wrong, I've got a model of it now. It's behind me. It's on my TV. The one there was a question that Matt got kind of right, but it wasn't the right answer. It was Harry Potter's son. what was his name? And then there was a question I got right, but I buzzed in too early. They disallowed my answer because I buzzed without Connie saying that Matt got it wrong. It was the Golden Gate Bridge one. And
No,
then
no, you did get it right. Yeah,
I got it
But
right.
you didn't get a point for it.
I'm pretty sure you did. Because
Oh, I
that
got
was
it.
the one I keep telling
Yeah.
everyone. I was like, holy shit, you guys are quick.
Well,
Yeah,
I was under the impression that Mark seemed to be somewhat psychic. Like Connie would say, "What did?" and you would go, "The Eagles landed," and then it's like, correct. Just
I was explaining that to my mom actually tonight. She was like, "What the hell did you know that this?" Well, first of all, famous nerds. So instantly you go, okay, famous nerds. Who's it going to be? And then suddenly it's like, okay, filmed in a shop where he used to. Boom. So famous nerds filmed in a shop where he used to work. That is Kevin Smith.
Oh,
Six
sorry.
Clerks. Just go 1, 2. It was in my head like bang.
Do you know what's really funny? My chaperone literally just made me watch it the night before we went in because I've never watched it before, Clerks. So
Yeah,
we
it's
watched
cool.
it and it was incredibly boring.
Did I ever say? Do you ever get a contact for her? Because she said she was going to loan me a book about Kevin Smith.
No, no, I don't.
Oh,
Sorry.
she was pretty cool. She was the Hannah. Her name was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was trying to think. There was a question, the billiard room question about the Cluedo. It's kind of like one of those because I had a Cluedo board in my head, and then when they asked in between two rooms, and because the billiard room's kind of in it's like in the middle of like two rooms, and it's kind of one of those quirky little rooms in the Cluedo board that kind of is a quiz question. So when she mentioned Cluedo room, and I went, okay, which is probably going to be an answer here, and I just fired off the billiard room. So it was kind of an educated guess at that. So yeah, and even like the one what was it, the Rebecca one at the start. I can't believe, I don't even know how I remembered that. I think I watched Aliens about 2 or 3 weeks before we even went into the house, but I can't believe I even remembered that. It was like, you can even see my face. It was like, Rebecca, was it? It was like, but yeah, that's it's not being psychic. It's kind of like just, it's good quiz technique. That's it, and it's something I've been doing since I was like 8 years old, 9 years old on school quiz teams. So.
If you could team up with any superhero, who would it be?
Robin.
Let's
Robin.
ignore her.
Oh, me to go first. I
Yeah.
thought you meant Robin as in the superhero. I was like,
No.
I was like, why would Paul should team up with the fucking boy wonder? I mean, come on, if following
Thought you were
Batman's
muted.
if I wanted to team up with a superhero, well, I've just read a crossover comic of Deadpool versus Rocket Raccoon, and I love both of those characters. If it wasn't for the fact that Deadpool was so easily turned and could probably kill me, I would go with him. But I think Rocket Raccoon, purely for the fact that he's amazing and he's an animal, so I can look after him. Go
I
for it,
think I'd
Ryan.
like-
I would team up with Tony Stark because he actually has the capital available and the technological capability to affect wider change in the world than just, I mean, you can take out a few criminals, but that doesn't fundamentally change what's wrong with the system.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Deadpool because boobies. Come on, boobies and dick jokes. Come on, what's not to like about it?
And don't forget chimichangas.
I think is Kick-Ass a superhero? He's not really a superhero, is he? He's just a normal guy. But I think we'd make a good team. Plus, I have a Kick-Ass outfit, so I don't know. We'd clash.
Oh my god, put it on.
Oh no, it's in London. It's in London.
Conveniently.
I would. It's in London with the green. I'm back in Belfast, so no, it's in London with the green.
I want to see
What
pictures.
suit? Sure. Did I not work the night we were out? Was there one of the nights at Comic Con we were out? I put it on. Do you remember?
I was wasted throughout the entire Comic Con. I don't remember meeting anyone.
I just remember us hanging out in your hotel room with your groupies.
Wait, what?
I remember
You
us
were in
all.
my hotel room?
Yeah, the one the one opposite the XL. It was cool. It was really good fun.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't think I was there.
Speaking of which, MCM, are we going in October?
I'm not.
Oh, you're away to Portugal, are you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, man, he's off to Portugal.
What
Well,
about the rest
Big
of you
time
guys?
cosplayer. Big time.
What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, I might go. Depends. Depends
What
on the
about
money.
Eurogamer? EGX?
When's that?
End of September.
Oh no.
This coming month. Or this month.
I've got a dance show.
It is from the 24th to the 27th of September.
I think I've got the Rugby World Cup on. Yeah, no, I won't be able. I'm gone to like loads of games of that, so I don't think I'll be able to make it. Hold on, I think we've got. There's a question here. You get to wipe out one disease/virus. Which one do you pick and why?
Herpes. Kenny gave it to me.
Say that again. What?
Yeah, I've just seen this on Twitter. If you it's from Kayla.
Yes, I was
If
just
you get to
responded
pick
to
out
it.
one virus or disease, which one would it be and why?
Well, who would you like to be, or who would you like
No,
to?
no.
What would you
Which-
like to
What
have?
disease would you get rid of?
Get rid of?
Yeah, so like, say
Why would
someone
you
walked
wanna
up
get
to
rid of
you and was
diseases?
like, look, I've got a pill here which can eradicate one disease from the whole planet. But
Yeah,
you
but
have
why
to
would you
choose
want
which
to do
disease.
that?
Well, like cancer, it stops killing people.
No.
Or like
It's like
weird.
controlling the rabbit population. Stupid people breed all the time. You should just let cancer be.
But like things like I'd probably say Alzheimer's, purely for the fact that it is one of the worst diseases. Because not only do you have to watch someone degrade, but you have to not see them forget about you, and you're trying to care for them. And I've seen people go through it, and yeah.
You'll find this interesting, Robin, but there's been some recent research that the plasma of young people actually has rejuvenating properties for people with Alzheimer's. So basically
Yeah,
the
I've
solution
seen
is to
that.
become a
Some
vampire.
fetuses.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can do that, but there's not much blood in them. You want to have a steady supply of young people effectively attached
Is
to
that what
life.
Gary Glitter did?
So, what disease would you wipe out, Ryan?
Well, I would wipe out the long-term disease of aging, which is intimately tied into every other disease because the probability of getting any other condition increases as you get older.
I don't know. Then you would be
Aging
stuck
isn't
with a lot of
technically a
people.
disease.
That's
It is
not
a
necessarily.
circle of life.
There's a difference between eliminating aging and making people immortal.
I'm kind of
But it's
flattening
still
this
not a
bit.
disease.
Oh, it is. It's just people don't accept it as a disease.
I think we should just do
Myopia. Is myopia a disease? I just rather not have to wear glasses again.
This is getting really scientific right now.
Right.
Thinking about
I have another
serious
question
stuff.
from the Chan of the Four. How do you deal with the fact that there's a skeleton covered in blood inside your body?
I think we
What
should all
does the
embrace
best-
our inner bloody skeleton and then use it. There's great power within if we know how to accept it.
Has any one of us sat on this throne before leaving, had a sneaky sit, like a
we all did.
cheeky
Yeah,
Nando's?
all the photos of that as well.
We have photos somewhere in the greater abyss. I think it was started by me and Kenny running over and demanding a photo. That was quite amusing. It was really comfortable, surprisingly.
That's good, sure.
I'm pretty sure Kerry has one of the controllers from it.
probably in a basement in either it's completely dismantled or it's probably in a basement in the Objective production headquarters, which is right opposite the Houses of Parliament in London. So.
And there's
Mark.
a really good bar there.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, now that you're a Belfast celebrity, are you going to the next QCon?
Oh yeah. I was at the last QCon as Captain America, and I was Marty McFly on the Saturday and Captain America on the Sunday. So, yeah, QCon is the best little mini convention I've ever been to. Really well organized, and yeah, I'll be definitely back. In fact, I live around the corner from Queen's University, so it was like literally just walk up the street, and there it was. So yeah, it was cool. And I've been. I've kind of made friends with a lot of the guys in the Northern Ireland cosplay community, and they're all really cool. Really good fun to hang out with, and they're we think there's a Belfast Comic Con in October, around about Halloween actually. So I'll definitely be at that one.
Did you go to MCM?
The one in Belfast? No, I went to MCM in Belfast, but not the one in Ireland. No, I was at some sporting things at the weekend. So no.
Robin, what's Matt like in bed? Rate him out of 10.
He
Are you pausing?
I'm trying to work out what I can say, which don't have a connotation, but still very accurate.
Who's Filthy Frank?
He's you couldn't imagine it. I don't know. Why would I know what Matt's like in bed?
I think that should have been your initial answer.
Well, no, because it's obvious that. I wanted to come up with something witty, but the only things I could think of were very boring, like most of the shit I say.
Now you're just digging yourself into a deeper hole, like he is with your vagina.
Oh! At least I'm not the only one in this hangout with a vagina. And we all know it's not Mark because we saw what he has.
Well, that killed the conversation.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Yes, moving swiftly on.
I think this is the last one I've got so far.
Yeah, I might call it a night after this because I'm pretty tired. So.
I don't think I can be bothered to ask this one out, to be honest. Something about Yasmin hating blacks or hating white people.
Oh God!
Another one.
Oh Jesus!
Well, if you read her Twitter status, it's swaying that way.
Oh, I have to say, if you ever get Yasmin on a karaoke night, she's hilarious. She'll go full throttle with the song, and then as soon as there's a break in the singing, she starts quoting feminism. She'll just be in the middle of Beyonce and she'll go, feminism is for the mass majority, it's not just for females, it will help society go on and it is much needed. And then continue singing. And she did it with other people's songs as well.
She doesn't seem like that kind of person.
Oh,
she was
really
is. Funny.
She is. She's a good laugh if you ever go drinking with her.
No, I genuinely think Yasmin's hilarious. She's a really cool girl. Yeah.
She loves her hashtags.
She certainly does.
All I can imagine is her singing Soul.
Now we sang Tragedy. And we were laughing all the way
which
through.
karaoke bar did you go to?
The one in Dartford.
All right.
Alibi. See, I remember things. Right, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna go to bed.
I think me too. On a wrap, did you guys enjoy the show? All 8 episodes of it?
I'm excited to get my freedom back. Now everything's
Is there
out
anything
there.
you would have done differently?
I'm still amazed that Robin, you're the only one. You get recognized. That's amazing.
It's not funny.
I was knocking about London. Yeah, I was knocking about London on last week, and I went into Forbidden Planet. I just kind of like see, I wonder if anyone will recognize me, but then no. But then again, I did have a beard and I was wearing my glasses, so I looked completely different from when I was on the show. So, and I put on a lot of weight. So.
Yeah, that was very odd.
Would you guys have done anything differently if you were to go on again from the start? Anything you
mouth
would have done,
shut.
wouldn't have done?
Keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, play it really cool. Play it, just don't even just play it like, oh, I just like Star Trek, and that's it. And just play it really, really cool. Don't say anything about
You
anything
wouldn't be
else.
able to do that, Mark.
I know, that's the thing. I remember on the first night going, oh fuck, I've given way too much away. Just like saying, just say one thing. I'm just like, I like Star Trek. That's got a show.
By the way, guys, my dad was a math teacher before he was a music teacher.
There you go.
So how did you not know what I said? Because you said you had to
Pardon?
guess. You said you
No,
had
I
to
didn't
guess
guess.
what
I worked
said.
out.
Okay. Oh, what do you have to do to
What
work
about you,
out?
Ryan?
Oh, what would I do differently? Probably the thing that would have had the most impact would have been if I'd have got some sleep before the nerd off.
I don't think I was nervous about the nerd off at all. It was just I'll see what happens.
Well, you kind of knew that you were going to beat Kerry, right?
No, it was a very close, even playing field. Neither of us knew anything about anything. So,
She learned. She did learn quite a lot. She absorbed quite a lot.
but who hasn't seen Harry Potter though?
Me,
Me, I've never watched
Seriously?
it in my life.
dude. I like Harry Potter. If you, it was one of those things. If I ever gone to a nerd off, and one of the other things was Harry Potter. Partly because I was a little. I know this sounds a bit mad, but partly because I was a little bit old for it. I remember when it came out, and all the kids in the year below me, they were all really into it, whereas we were all into Star Wars and Power Rangers and wrestling and Pokemon and stuff like that. But Harry Potter was just a little. It was a little bit juvenile. I know it's all it's for everybody and everything like that. But I just never bothered getting into it. Plus, I look like Harry Potter, and I got a lot of stick for it. So I was like, just no, I'm never going to watch it. I just refuse to point blank to watch it, and therefore I literally know nothing about it. Like like put it this way, it's kind of like someone who doesn't know anything about Star Wars yet can tell you who Luke Skywalker is, who can tell you who Darth Vader is, because it's so seeped in popular culture. So I could probably tell you who the characters are, because of the internet, because it's such a pop culture thing. And probably give you a bluffer's guide to Harry Potter, but I've never seen it. I've never read it.
And on that note,
Good night, everyone.
Good night. See you all again.
Thanks for
Good
joining.
night.
thanks for joining us on the King of the Nerds Hangout. Please feel free to follow us on Twitter. Mark doesn't care about Twitter anymore now he's got 1,000 followers.